Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for L2 Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we're covering Belle Collective. I believe that this is season 7, episode 1. Yes, we are back, and better than ever. We pray. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Let's get into this week's episode. All right, so as I said before, Belle Collective is back after season 6, which was like 8-9 episodes, which unfortunately they could have kept. I honor Mr. Carlos King and Kingdom Reign Entertainment, but we didn't need it, unfortunately. The trailer looks awesome, so I am in anticipation, and I'm hoping for a better season than what we were given last season. We start off with a little insight as to what's going on with the crew. Letitia and Latrice are still at odds. And from the trailer, it still looks like they're at odds. So what has changed with them? Nothing. They haven't spoken since the reunion. And Latrice is like, basically, she didn't say it this time, but she has said it before. Letitia's dead to her. Of course, in the trailer, they're going to be combating against each other. The only thing that I can say is I'm already sick of them as far as fighting. I don't want them to be friends because Letitia is just someone that is very dangerous as a person. However, I don't know how much more of the fighting I want. But again, I don't want them to make up. And it looks like a lot of the cast are going to put themselves in situations that trying to reconcile them. No, leave them alone. Let them be. I know it's supposed to be a collective, but what have y'all done collectively since season 2? So what do y'all have to do collectively anyways? There's no endeavors, there's nothing business thing-wise, nothing business-wise that I've seen y'all come together collectively. Mostly it's just to come to those brunches that Letitia has. So we're gonna go to present. And Letitia is starting something new, yet again for this season. The Letitia Pearson Show. It looks very well produced. We only saw the back end of it, we didn't actually see the show. However, she's got executive producers. She has someone that looks like she's a friend of the show, but is a friend of Letitia. We see some pictures from back in the day. And Shantae. Later on in the episode, it looks like Shantae's going to be gunning for Carrie. Yet another person that Letitia brings on to go and attack someone that she won't attack herself. But, hey, I'm just here to review the show. Who am I? Her first guest is none other than Mrs. Letitia Scott from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, I saw some tweets trying to complain about why they keep bringing the folks from the bread and butter to other shows and using them. Why not? Why not? That makes no sense. Even though Married to Medicine spinoffs didn't work, they kept using certain ones, Quad and Contessa and Dr. Heavenly, to help in ushering the shows off. Why can't they come? That makes no sense. There's no reason that everybody's got to be separate for any reason at all. So leave them alone. Am I a particular fan of Letitia? No, but look, here we go. And Letitia, I'm not a fan of hers. All I can say is on this at least debut of your show that you said that you've been dreaming of for a very long time. Congratulations on it. And you know I don't give her nothing. The only thing is that I'm going to sit and watch and see if you continue on with this. I have a gripe with a lot of these public figures who has fame and people notice them. They pick up the show that they want to do on YouTube one day and then leave it alone the next. And I feel like it's a slap in the face for so many others that work tirelessly, day in and day out, to make their channels work. You have a built-in audience already that will come flock to your channel. And you get to pick it up, put it down, and pick it up and put it down as you please. And it does piss me off as I see some other people at how they function and operate. So yeah, let's see if you're consistent. Marie. We find out that Marie and Said are broken up. She says that there's been infidelity. But the most that she is saying is that Cedric has been in communication with the other woman that he supposedly broke up with to be with her. I feel like it's stunts and shows. This is how I felt, and I've said it in other reviews and other seasons. I feel like Letitia and Glenn are stunt queens, and so is Marie. I felt like last season was a stunt. Oh, let's bring on two people, act like I'm really juggling these people to get people to still talk about me. And I don't have to be at odds with Latrice. So let me reformulate how I'm presented on the show. And now you're down on your luck, back against the wind, with the love of your life, Cedric, that you gave another chance after you were so sensitive to him after some family members passed away. Because I could have sworn Letitia all of a sudden gave Glenn another chance when his grandmother passed away. I find it very stunt queenish between all three of them on the show. Later on, Marie goes to her office and she has Suri, her daughter, who is her daughter with Cedric. She's showing her administrative things regarding the company. And I think that that's cool. Train up a child in the way that she should go if she wants to learn anything about the trade of the business and to take it on later on in life. Now, part of that was supposed to be Drez's responsibility. All of a sudden, he's backed away from filming. Now, I'm sure that he's probably in college. I thought he would be graduating and whatnot. But we don't see him no more. We haven't seen him for about 3 seasons. I think he showed up for when Marie's house got broken into, and that was it. And we learned that she has some other sons that we don't see. Suri kind of just lets us know how she's feeling right now. She's confused because, of course, her and her mom and dad have broken up, and he shows up at one of her games. Didn't call or nothing, but just comes there, shows up, sits down. I guess they talk during there or whatnot. But then Marie ends up revealing exactly what happened. I don't know if it was a healthy thing to say something to Suri about what happened. You could have just given her a general thing in regards to all of this and not have to go into details. However, there must have been some type of disappointment in Cedric all this time, and we're doing this. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Should Marie have said something to Suri as far as all the details as to why her and Cedric are not together anymore? Because Marie is only saying that he's been in communication, has there really been infidelity? Now, it's already suspect if you are talking with your ex. But what exactly happened? I guess we'll get into further details later on in the season. We move on to Carrie. Carrie is at her restaurant. Matt is there also. They're trying to decide which location that she's going to be hosting her birthday party. It's going to be her 44th birthday party, and the theme is going to be Love Jones. This is a popular cult movie, a black love film, one of few that we do have that has stood the test of times, that did include with the cast of Lorenz Tate and also Nia Long, which I wish Hollywood would have capitalized on their chemistry. But I think that there is a new movie that's coming out with Lorenz Tate and Nia Long, so we finally get some type of reunion. I mean, if Julia Roberts and Richard Gere can star in what? Did they do 2 or 3? Like, and Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks. You know, I think it would be great for some of these very iconic black couples to be able to do things more than once. They did do it with Vivica Fox and Morris Chestnut a few times. I think 2 or 3 times that they had them in movies together. So, hey. They did that with Taraji P. Henson and Terrence Howard. Brick and Spoon in the Mobile, Alabama location is suffering due to the economics right now. The economy ain't booming, and just things aren't working out. It's very understandable. And Carrie does not want to fail. She's speaking with her husband about it, and it's quite heavy. And Matt was like, well, you do thrive as far as your personality when things are quite heavy. And then she was giving an analogy of being on the surfboard. And Matt was like, well, you need to be on a kayak. It's a lot more sturdier than this, where you could easily fall over and all that good stuff. So anyways, Carrie's talking about she's inviting all the ladies to her birthday party. She doesn't know how she's going to keep the peace. And she feels like she is being mashed in the middle of, you don't have to, Carrie. That's all I can tell you. Letitia and Latrice, they go through stuff. Sometimes they get it together. I don't personally want them to get it together because of my own feelings. But if you want to keep subjecting yourself to that, go ahead and do it. Leave us out the group chat though. As far as if you feel like you've been burned or whatever. We move on to Letitia. Letitia has brought over Shantae, and that's when she starts taking digs at Carrie. So obviously, as I said before, Carrie does have a foe this season. Brought to you by Letitia. Since she can't do it, since it's her friend, so we're gonna see who she backs up. Y'all sitting up here fighting for Letitia and Latrice's relationship. Let's see how far she fights for you as a friend on this show. They were talking about 90s, what they were actually going to wear as far as 90s attire. Now I'm gonna say something about the 90s attire when we get there, or the attire that was that showed up on screen when we get there. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of easy to dress in the 90s. We had a certain style. Now I was raised in the 90s. I wasn't grown in the 90s, but yeah, I was around there. It's quite easy. It wasn't that difficult of a genre to get styled, and you just gotta find your groove. Especially if you just look at what people were wearing in the Love Jones thing, you'll be okay. But anyways, Shantae leaves. Marie shows up. They both kind of gripe about their romantic lives. More Marie heavy, because she goes on to say about what Cedric did to her. Da, 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 da. I'm so sorry. And then Letitia kind of gives into and tells about what's going on between her and Glendale. And basically, we're back to season 2. But we'll get into them in just a few minutes. Latrice and Cliff, they're at Taste, and they're having a staff meeting. They brought in some new management in regards to whatever has happened, but there's a lot of stuff that has not made it on camera to us about what was happening at Taste, even though it's been reported on different channels. A shout out to Millie Chun TV. She did report on it. Scotty by Nature also reported on it, and a few more that I know of, but probably more. But for whatever reason, that was not talked about. Letitia tried to bring it up at the reunion or whatnot, or during the season, I forgot. But Latrice shut that down really quick. There was abuse, stuff happening, harassment happening at Taste that involved Cliff, and all of that last spring, but it was not brought up on camera. But it looks like we're going to get a little bit more of that from this season, because if y'all remember from the reunion, Letitia did make a threat, and she's going to do what she can to make certain people's lives living hell on the show, because of how she feels like she was dealt with during with her and Glendale's relationship with when Amanda showed up. So y'all be on the lookout for that. I'm not surprised about anything that's coming, because Letitia been pulling this crap since season 2. But she's been able to throw her rock and hide her hand. But anyways, I had to call out Latrice and Cliff while I'm talking about Letitia too. Yeah. Well, the manager's talking about when they have Cliff and Latrice can have complaints about, well, the staff is showing up. There's a uniform, and they're showing up how they want to show up. They got their booties out and all of that, and there's an actual uniform. The manager that's a part of it now says, well, they're quite ugly. That manager is out of order. You see this is going on. Okay, if they're ugly, that has nothing to do with their work performance and what they've been asked to wear. I think that there could have been a group discussion about, okay, let's change the attire, but you don't just get to show up in anything. And it looks like this new manager is allowing that to slide. They said a couple of other things, but basically there's a lot of disrespect and disorder that's happening that should not be happening, especially now that they got new management. So, unfortunately, this person is out of order for allowing it to happen. Latrice and Cliff, they go have their own little separate talk. We find out that Latrice was in the emergency room for 4 days, or at least she started at the emergency room. I don't know if she was transferred to a hospital or not. It wasn't specifically spoken on what happened, but she did at least start off in the emergency room. She's got blood clots in her legs. Her legs were swollen, and that prompted her to finally go to the hospital. She found out that she's got them in her legs. She's got them in her lungs, near her heart. And look, them blood clots are not anything to play with, especially when it gets into your lung. It's going to get near your heart, and then your life will be cut off like that. Now, Latrice and Glenn, they were in their confessional, and I have no clue what they were saying. One thing, because Cliff, you don't know what he's talking about. But Latrice knows because she's been around him forever and a day. Whatever they were talking about is what they were talking about. That's all I can say. And that's where I'm going to leave it at. They talked about Latrice and Glenn because they know that the party is coming up. Latrice does not want Cliff anywhere near Glenn because Cliff feels like because Latrice and Letitia aren't on speaking terms and all that, that's messing up their relationship. Well, since Glenn is trying to blame both Latrice and Cliff for the destruction of their marriage, that she doesn't want him around. Keep away from him. For me, do I kind of get where Latrice is coming from? Now, me as a person, if I was Cliff, don't put me in whatever happened with this show thing because it happened at his house that, oh, he's a part of the issue in trying to tear up marriages. When your wife was the one talking about that there was abuse in Latrice and Cliff's marriage. Stop it. But I wouldn't want anything to do with them. However, the men seem to want to continue on with the relationship in some shape, form, or fashion. Cliff, you can do what you want to do. I think you're a fool. I think you're a fool because they will use anyone as part of their dysfunction in their jacked up relationship. That's not serving anyone at this point. But yeah, that's where they're at with that. Now, I will say this, why I kind of also feel that Latrice and Cliff are kind of stunt queenish too. I said an ish with them because it's quite interesting that Latrice and Cliff have switched roles. Now Latrice is able to tell Cliff this, that, to act like she runs things in the home. When we've seen all the other seasons until the allegations of abuse came up and he acted a tail at the M bar. That now it's switched that, oh, okay, well, it looks like she runs the show. Is it a coincidence? I ask you, is it a coincidence? Just brought that up. All right, so we get to the Love Jones party. They chose a different spot, Carrie did, for all the festivities to go on. It's a cool little intimate set and all that. They're going to have poetry and all that. They had a poet come and they gave a poet sonnet, I think it's called, to Carrie, and then others. The guy was going to write some poetry for anyone that wanted to volunteer. All you got to do is give me a few facts about the person that you want to do the poetry about, and then you can go on and recite it. Mike did his for Selena. Selena looks good in that bob in their confessionals. So far, it seems like we have a different Selena on screen than last season. Of course, she's still mourning her son, and she could still be mourning, but hopefully it's not the entirety of the season. And I want her to mourn, and I think for her betterment, if that's a dark cloud over her, it's probably best not to be a part of this show. But hey, who cares? We'll see what happens. I do care, but it's like, he recites his, and it gets Selena very excited and tingly on inside because that's not Mike's normal thing, because he don't do anything in this type of romantic gesture. They only see each other on the weekends because he travels during the week. I guess he's a truck driver. Are y'all They're supposed to be getting married, but are y'all sure you really want a weekend husband though, Selena? But that's you. But before we get to Glendale, because he has a poem too, because you know he rap, and this is just an addition to what I do when I write stuff for my woman. I forgot about the therapy session because I really don't care, because I feel like the stunt queens, one season they're okay, the next season they're not. The following season they're okay, the next season they're not. It's been this same cycle with these nuts, and I need them to just really figure out what their storyline is, because I'm sick of the inconsistencies. What Letitia is fed up with Glendale is that he's doing what he's been doing since season 2. He has not liked that Letitia is doing things independently outside of him, having a business, and not being a mattress and a mule for him, and relying on him. He's old school, and he's not changing, yet she still stays with him. So what else is going on? I mean, the key is in your hand, Letitia. You were supposed to be gone years ago. And you keep staying behind this Negro that wants to see you fail. And to just be his mattress, maid, and mule. He don't see it for you like that. You already said it's a privilege to be with you, yet you allow him to dog walk you every chance you get. So, and then you're so mad at everyone else for coming in between your marriage. That's over. It's a high school love that should have fizzled out a long time ago. But if you like it, keep liking it. Latrice sees Glendale and what's his face, Cliff talking. She goes and grabs Cliff and says, "Let's go." She's only okay with Cliff saying hi and bye, or hey and bye. Anything else? No. Cliff was talking with Glendale saying like, "Look, I'm catching a lot of heat because of you and your wife. I can't even be really seen around you." Da, 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 da. So Latrice and Cliff, they head for the front door. Carrie stops her, and then also Tamara stops by. We get a little update with Tamara. She talks about London Simone. She's 2 years old, and you know it's terrible twos. She's got an attitude, and she don't know where it comes from. It must come from her daddy's side. Lord, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that, because I'm sure the mom gonna say the opposite. Carrie ends up stopping them and saying, "No, stay here. Da 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 da. Let's do this poetry stuff." So they stay a little bit longer. Glendale does his recitation, and at the end, he was asking Letitia, "Do you love him?" And she was on mute. And that was at the end of the episode, and it's a to be continued. I really don't care about them, but whatever. We gotta watch them since she's the head. I would call them what Giving You the Real Tea calls them, a boss hog. Yeah, so we got that going on. And that's the end of the episode. Y'all tell me what y'all thought of this episode. Are y'all excited? Anything in the trailer that really caught your eye as to what you wanted to see? Let me know. What are your predictions of what the storyline is going to be this season and all that good stuff? There's supposed to be more episodes than what we got in this last season. Thank God. We got to make up from last season. Please, y'all. Please, please, please. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until the next video, peace.